Hey Disney Planes fans, in this video we're going to showcase the 4 different Dusty variations in order in which they appear in the movie, starting with Dusty, Racing Dusty, Turbo Dusty, and then finally Navy Dusty. Let's take a look at Dusty. This is the first variation of the 4 from the movie. This is regular crop duster Dusty, a Dusty crop duster as he's called in the movie, and he has no racing abilities at this point. However, he wants to be a racer and dreams of being a racer, but doesn't have the raw power to get there, engine-wise I mean. Let's take a closer look at him and see what he looks like. Taking off the case, the clear plastic case, we'll see that he has a nice background, which is of his dwelling space, and I guess that would be his hangar or bedroom. I don't know what they would call that, but as you can see, he has a trophy there and some other collectibles. Some a poster that says "Around the World." Many, I guess it's all the inspiration that he wants to be a racing airplane or this big fast airplane. I guess it tells a story about him. On the back we have a picture of Dusty with a genuine, original, authentic Disney Store placard, or I guess logo there, just to originate where it's from. This is Racing Dusty. This is the second Dusty in the movie. When he finally enters his first race, this is what he looks like. Taking off the clear casing, we'll see the background, which has the grandstands for a race, and I guess a runway here with a flag or a checkered flag that shows where the finish line is. So this kind of indicates that he's already getting to this racing stance or variation. Here you see the back, Dusty with a kind of like a slick look with the eyes, as though, yeah, I'm racing. I'm finally where I need to be. This is Turbo Dusty. This is the Dusty that really has a souped up engine, or propeller for that matter. He has gasoline tanks at the wing edge, at the wingtips, and he really means business now. Let's take a look at him and see what he looks like. This is, and what I believe to be, I can't confirm this, but oh cool, look, I just noticed that. If you see this cloud here, it kind of looks like an airplane. If you see the shape of it, it looks like an F-16. But that's just a side note. But anyhow, this looks like the Salt Flats in Utah, I believe it is. It is a place where land speed records are made because it's completely flat, and it's where all the cars, motorcycles, and any type of speed records are made because it's all open land. There's nothing in the way, nothing to stop you, and it's completely flat. So what this tells me is that, using this as a background for a Turbo Dusty, that he's going to set a new record for himself. This is what Turbo Dusty background looks like on the backside, and as you can see, the propeller, you can already see that he has 4 props on there, and he looks aggressive there in that picture. Here we have Navy Dusty, and this particular Dusty is the one that you'll see at the end of the movie. This Dusty has been retrofitted with, or actually repainted with military colors, and that's due to Bravo and Echo. Those are the same colors that they're using. Let's take a closer look at him and see what's behind this case. Here you'll see an aircraft carrier deck, which has been lowered to go inside below the flying deck of the aircraft carrier. Doesn't signify much other than now Dusty is on a Navy deck on an aircraft carrier. And here's what he looks like on the back. Cool. Let's take a look at all 4 Dusties and notice some of the differences, or I should say, each, as you go from left to right, each one changes and gets upgraded. Starting from the left, you have the regular Dusty. This is what he looks like. Plain old Dusty. Flexible antenna on top. Flexible propellers that spin. And also a flexible landing gear. Flexible crop dusters at the bottom. And the rear landing gear does not move. It's just a stationary piece of plastic. Notice some of the designs on Dusty. Let's look at Racing Dusty. This is the second Dusty. This is the Dusty that starts to get a little hope in the movie and starts to race. He gets a little racing number on the wingtip here. Number 7. The flying surfaces each have color blue on it now. He still has a flexible antenna on the top, but doesn't have the crop duster anymore. As you can see, that's just signify that he's trying to remove anything that's creating drag or that slows him down or reduce weight at the same time. So he starts to modify himself to become a faster airplane. Everything else is the same except for some of the decals or tampos that you see throughout the fuselage. He gets the skull bones there, the little piston head with the skull, and the 2 wrenches as the two cross bones. Same flexible propeller that spins. And other than that, the paint job is the same. Next is Turbo Dusty. Now he already starts to look a little meaner, a little more aggressive. His paint is totally different. Just look at him and see what I mean. He has a little blue here, metallic silver here on the back. These are fuel tanks on the wingtips. So having fuel tanks on the wingtip signifies that he's consuming more gas because he's flying a lot faster with a more powerful engine. Even his propeller is different. He has 4 props on the propeller. As you can see there, they're all as well flexible. His engine exhaust ports here, or his engine exhaust, is totally different. As you can see that there. Now he has a different design on that, and I'll showcase that later in comparison to the other Dusties, with a nice metallic silver paint. And he's still bearing the same number 7. Here on the inner wings, he has a black glossy paint. And this is the Dusty that gets aggressive and wins the race at the end. Very cool looking. Oh, one thing to notice, even his landing gear is different. I just noticed that. And I'll show you how these landing gears are different in a second. And this is Navy Dusty. This is basically Turbo Dusty with military or Navy colors. No different than Turbo Dusty. He has the same fuel tanks on the wingtips, but now he's designed with Navy colors, Navy decals. This is a typical design that you would see on a fighter airplane. You can see the back here. This is from the Jolly Rogers, or I forgot what Jolly Rogers is an actual flight crew, but I forgot what they call it. I think it's the Jolly Wrenches in the movie. This is their actual vertical stabilizer look. I wonder what the JW means. Oh, Jolly Wrenches, JW, that's right. I'm figuring this out as we speak here. And also he has a different landing gear in comparison to the first 2 Dusties. Very nice looking. So if you're a military fan, this is a nice Dusty to have. And you can see also, one last thing to mention is that the front here is painted black. This is what military airplanes use as an anti-glare surface, so that when they're flying high in the sky, the sun is reflecting off, and or actually it's like an anti, so that they can see further along through the nose cone, and there will be no reflective light bouncing back at the cockpit. There you have it. Now let's take a look at some of the differences and similarities, or the upgrades from Dusty to Dusty. These two particular Dusties, one thing, as I mentioned earlier, are the color schemes. Look at the wing surfaces. You have blue on one and plain on the other. Well, this one has a black strip right here. That's supposed to be an anti-skid walkway. So if this was not dusty in a regular airplane, the pilot would walk across there, and on a rainy day or any day, it would prevent him from slipping off of the wings as he's climbing into the cockpit. But it's basically the same casting. The wheels, if you notice on Racing Dusty, are colored red. The Crop Duster Dusty have white wheels. But everything else is the same, with a few exceptions of the difference in decals and coloring on the decals, which is blue. Now, Turbo Dusty and Navy Dusty, well, I'll talk about Turbo Dusty first. Not really Navy Dusty, because he's the same. And I'll show you what I mean about the landing gear. See that there? This has a landing gear that folds in. This one has a stationary landing gear which does not fold at all. So if he were in flight, this right here would fold in and create a more aerodynamic Dusty. So the wings are inside the wings. I'm sorry, the wheels are inside the wings. And this particular Dusty, he would just fly along with the wheels exposed as they are, which creates drag, which slows him down quite a bit. Also, look at the engine designs. Here you see a different engine, exhaust actually, and on this particular Dusty he has a small little spout there, which is not much. So obviously this means that there's been an upgraded engine on this Dusty versus this Dusty. And also look at the props. 4 props, 3 props on this particular Dusty. Wingtips, you'll see that one Dusty has the fuel tanks while the other doesn't. And here's Crop Duster Dusty. You'll see at the bottom there, he has the crop dusting module there, versus Racing Dusty, which loses it as he starts to race. And this particular Dusty speaks for himself, which is the same as the Racing Dusty. Same exact design, same wingtips, same look, same engine. It's just a recolor of Dusty. Thanks for watching, and any comments would be appreciated. Just let me know what you think. Please like and please subscribe, and see you in the next video.